COG Connected made the top sexiest heroes of gaming in 2021. And I don't understand why they choose the top 12. Maybe because it wasn't a lot of games released in 2021. So 21 may be too much. And maybe 10 it was too little. And they wanted to show us more sexy heroes. Well, first of all, I don't know why they picked men and women in the same category. But whatever, I guess you can say a man is sexy even if you're not attracted to him. And by that I mean that if you see a man, you will know if he's sexy if you will think, oh, I bet he gets a lot of girls. Well, I actually have no idea because I know some guys that get a lot of girls and I don't think they are sexy at all. But I don't think Alex did this because he really thinks these are the top 12 sexiest heroes of gaming in 2021. I think he did this mainly to promote some games from big corporations that didn't really succeed that much or didn't sell as much as they wanted, or they just want more. So let's see the top 12 and you will know why. Number 12, Agent 47, Hitman 3. And I think this is actually a good pick. And this is especially a good pick for the women who want a man that's shaved all over the place. So if you want a man that's smooth as possible, Agent 47 Hitman 3 is your pick. Because he has no hair to scratch you. And he's perfect for women who are not into bearded men or hairy men. Number 11, and this is where the problems start to appear. Master Chief Halo Infinite. First of all, I'm not a Halo Infinite fan because I never played Halo, but I will want to play it in the future. And I tried to find a video with Master Chief without a helmet and it was almost impossible. So what do we find sexy here? The costume? Maybe underneath the costume he is very ugly. So no matter what you think, Master Chief is not sexy because all you see is a costume. It can even be Shrek under that costume. Number 10, Holly, Back for Blood. Oh, at last we get to see women. I think, because she doesn't really look like a woman. If you take off the makeup, she looks like a man. Or maybe you like a manly woman. Okay, I'm kidding, she doesn't look that bad. But sexy is 100% not the thing I was thinking when I saw her. And I think this is because clearly the artist wasn't interested in making her sexy. At least he or she didn't do a great job. Number 9, Gamora, Guardians of the Galaxy. And I think when people wanted to fuck aliens, Gamora wasn't one of them. And especially not flat titties. Or flattened titties. I mean, what the fuck are those? It looks like her titties were square. And they try to slap them to make them look normal, more round, but they gave up during the process. Okay, maybe the previous character, Holly, didn't look so masculine, but this Gamora looks very masculine. I mean, look at her, she has square teeth, there's nothing under there. And if you watch her face, she clearly looks like a man with a wig, and of course painted green and black. But the color of her skin is not the issue, the fact that she is ugly is. If this was considered a sexy woman in my high school, then I will still be a virgin. There's no way I will be attracted to her, there's nothing sexy about her. Number 8, Peter Quill, Guardians of the Galaxy. Again, Guardians of the Galaxy? For real? Is it so hard to find another game? And you call him sexy, but you don't show his face. You show a picture of him with his mask on. But even if you go and find a picture of him that doesn't have a mask, you will see that the Peter Quill from the video game looks awful. So maybe this is why they showed him with a mask. Number 7, Shone, Tails Over Eyes. And at last we see a beautiful woman. And a sexy hero. But somehow, number 6 should be more sexy than her. And number 6 is Alex Chen, Life is Strange 2 Colors. You can call her whatever you want, but sexy is never one of them. First of all, she has the nose piercing that you always see on brain damaged people. You know, the offended people. And next you got the haircut. That's something between Karen and the offended people. And even her face tells us that she's offended all the time. Yeah, whatever. Maybe that's not the story because I never played the games because I found them boring. I saw some trailers and some people playing this game, and I never found anything interesting about the game. Life is Strange, the first game seems interesting, and it actually has sexy girls. But what the fuck is this? Alex Chen is not sexy. Having a piercing in your nose doesn't make you sexy. And also having a haircut that's half like a man and the other half like, let's say, a woman. Again, not sexy. What do you want me to do? Just see you from the side? I mean, sure, maybe it works for bisexual people because they are attracted by both sexes, but what if I'm not? I should only watch your left side? And the way she is dressed. I mean, come on, I saw homeless people dress better. Absolutely nothing sexy about her, and she is number 6. Next we have Lady Hellbender, Guardians of the Galaxy. Again, for real. 3 characters from Guardians of the Galaxy. I never heard anybody saying that Guardians of the Galaxy has sexy characters. I mean the game. Well, I actually don't hear anybody playing this shit game. But for real now, you cannot find any other games. Didn't you find it fair to at least tell us one character from one game? I don't think this is all the games that you can find in 2021. I know this because I searched for all of them. And even if not all of them have sexy characters, 100% you can find a lot of games that do, and you don't have to repeat the same game. Especially when you don't even show sexy. So let's talk about Lady Hellbender, Guardians of the Galaxy number 5. First of all, her skin looks awful. It looks like a statue, and yeah, I don't want to fuck something that looks like a statue. But whatever, a statue can be sexy, I guess. But even if her face looks kind of okay, the rest of her body is not. I see a lot of veins in her muscles from the hand. I don't like veins in women. Her legs are also not sexy. I think the only thing that's sexy about her is her hair. Maybe the person who wrote this article is interested in strange stuff. Aliens or, I don't know, monsters. Number 4. Samus Aran, Metroid Dread. And for real, again, a costume. Whatever, an armor. How is this sexy? It's an armor. You can put that on the ugliest thing in the world. That doesn't make it sexy. If I put a shit in that armor, it doesn't make the shit sexy. And what I can find on the internet, Samus Aran looks very sexy. She is a very beautiful woman. But what I can find is mostly fan art. So I'm not sure if you can see her in the game. But even so, Alex shows us an armor. He doesn't show us how she really looks. So if she really has a face and she shows her face in Metroid Dread, then I should see that picture, not the armor. My point is that it doesn't count if you cannot see her. Number 3, Cold Van, Deathloop. And what can I say? I think Alex likes boys more than girls. I mean, I understand that the girl is not the main protagonist, but he clearly thinks that the man is more sexy than the woman. Because any man will always prefer a woman, and it doesn't matter if she's less sexy. And of course, I'm talking about straight men. Number 2, Yuffie Kisaragi, Final Fantasy VII Remake, but it's not actually Final Fantasy VII Remake. It's Final Fantasy VII Remake Integrate. But I guess he was too lazy to write that in the title. Integrate is basically the DLC, because you can only find Yuffie in the DLC. Anyway, from what I know, isn't Yuffie 16 years old? And number 1 is Lady Dumitrescu, Resident Evil Village. And we all know that the whole internet loved her. So at least he got number 1 right. She is tall, she is sexy, she is thick, and she is probably the only woman in your life that will never stop chasing you. And that's really nice. You finally get a woman in video games at least that is interested in you. So from what I saw on the internet, a lot of people didn't agree with this list. And of course not, because sexy is subjective, just like comedy and other stuff. But I didn't even find one person that agreed with the list. Maybe some of them agreed with Lady Dumitrescu. And I also like Shione from Tales of Arise. And I don't want to talk about Yuffie. I mean, in Final Fantasy VII, I'm pretty sure she was 16. In Advent Children, she was 18. And when I was a kid, I actually liked her, even if Aerith was my favorite. Anyway, let's be real, you put Yuffie here, but you don't put Ryza. I mean, she's still 17, but I don't think that's the reason you didn't put her, because Yuffie is younger. I think the only reason you put Yuffie instead of Ryza is because Square Enix is a huge company, and you don't care about smaller gaming companies. But what about Persona 5, that actually has some sexy characters, like Anne or Makoto? What about Nier Replicant version 1222474487139? It's from Square Enix. How can you not find anything sexy in this game? In the last Nier game, everybody was obsessed with the Nier characters, especially the big booty one. I understand that the new Nier doesn't have a big butt, but she's still sexy. What about the ReZero game with Emilia or Ren? How can you not love Emilia? How about Yakuza Like a Dragon? How about Last Judgment? From what I saw, the whole Japanese country is obsessed with the main protagonist from Last Judgment, if you insist in picking a man, but they also have women. IS-9 Monstrum Nox. Rift Apart has characters for furries. You care about the costumes and stuff like that, but you don't care about the furries? The characters from Rift Apart are sexier than half of your list, even if I'm not interested in furry stuff. At least Lomax from that game, that should be a woman, it tries to look like a woman, to act like a woman. Even if from what I know she's a cat or whatever. Anyway, I'm pretty sure I missed a lot of games because I didn't try to find all the games. I just wanted to show you that you can find other games. You don't need to show ugly characters as sexy. And you don't need to add free characters from Guardians of the Galaxy that nobody thinks is sexy. Clearly that game didn't sell well and the companies want you to make free advertising. And also those companies don't know how to make sexy characters. But let's be real, that's not the only reason the games don't sell well. At least not the numbers that they want. Maybe if they invest less in marketing and more in producing a good video game, they will do better. And they will actually make games that are fun. But when a lot of developers say that they want to invest more in marketing, that the budget for the marketing team should be the same as the making of the game, when they say that, they clearly don't care about the game. They just want to fool you in buying their game. What they refuse to know is that in the future you will not buy their games. You will lose interest in buying games from them. I mean, I agree marketing is important to make your game known, but you should also make sure that your game is actually good and entertaining. But I'm pretty sure this will never happen if the budget for your game development is the same as the marketing team. Look at Game of Thrones. I don't see a lot of people interested in Game of Thrones anymore. You saw the marketing everywhere, but because they failed in the last season, they failed everything. And nobody is interested in Game of Thrones. Or let's stick to video games. What about Cyberpunk? You used to see a lot of merchandise with Cyberpunk 2077. And a lot of memes and a lot of stuff. Fan-made stuff. We don't really see that anymore. Because guess what? They care more about the marketing team instead of the development team. And sure, you may say that a lot of people bought the game, but how about now? They lost a lot of trust that they will never, ever recover. They lost a lot of support, and Cyberpunk actually had a huge future. Now, I don't think a lot of people will be interested. Long story short, the list with the sexiest heroes of video games in 2021 sucks. At least the one made by COG Connected. And more exactly, by Alex.